All's fair in love and war, and my goodness, divorce law is literally the unholy alliance between love and war. Viva Frei, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida rumbler, and I'm just doing my homework for tonight's live stream with Robert Barnes, catching up on the latest in the Georgia indictment, the Fani Willis, Nathan Wade affair, moral degeneracy drama. There has been news this week because the soon-to-be ex-wife of Nathan Wade, the man who was hired as external counsel by Fani Willis to do a little more than provide outside counsel, if you know what I'm saying. She has filed a subpoena to compel Fani Willis to testify in the context of the divorce proceedings. Fani Willis filed a motion to quash that subpoena, and Jocelyn Wade has filed a response to that motion to quash. It's phenomenal, and the info coming out of this is truly mind-blowing.
More breaking news tonight in a major case against the former president that's turning into a major mess. Late today in Atlanta, a Fulton County commissioner launched a probe into allegations that District Attorney Fani Willis misused county funds and, quote, accepted valuable gifts and personal benefits from the special prosecutor that she hired to prosecute the case. His name is Nathan Wade.
Now, for those of you who may not be too familiar with the details of what's going on here, I'd like to know what rock you're living under, and I'd like you to invite me over for dinner. But just recently, one of the defendants in the Georgia RICO case brought by Fani Willis, with the help of external counsel, who's been a little more in-house, if you know what I'm saying. Let's have sex. They filed a motion to disqualify Fani Willis from this case, alleging that she had engaged in an improper relationship with outside counsel, basically bypassed rules of ethics as relates to hiring external counsel, arguably improperly allocating taxpayer funds, if not federal funds.
She apparently used federal COVID funds to pay this secret boyfriend.
To pay her boyfriend, who was then paying for lavish vacations for her, cruises, hotels, plane flights, all of which we have receipts for now, thanks to Jocelyn Wade. That's what's been going on. Fani Willis said initially that they would respond through proper court filings, but instead she took to the pulpit of God, and I mean literally, she went up in front of a church to use the Lord's name to profess her innocence, and she may or may not have said things which are factually incorrect, such as, oh, it's all racial that they're going after Nathan Wade, the only black man that I've hired. I haven't paid him more than anyone else on the team. That seems to be demonstrably false in that there is another member of the team of external counsel with more RICO experience than Fani Willis's boyfriend, Nathan Wade, who might not be getting paid exactly as much as Nathan Wade. It doesn't matter. To think, to argue, to get up in front of a church and say that this is racially motivated is itself racism in its purest form.
Lord, your flawed, hard-headed, and imperfect child, I'm a little confused. I appointed 3 special counsel, as is my right to do, paid them all the same hourly rate, paid them all the same hourly rate,
paid them all the same hourly rate.
They only attacked one.
She's paying this alleged secret unqualified boyfriend $100 more an hour than she's paying an actual RICO expert attorney.
I hired one white woman, a good personal friend and great lawyer, a superstar, I tell you. I hired one white man, brilliant, my friend, and a great lawyer. And I hired one black man, another superstar, a great friend, and a great lawyer. Oh Lord, they gonna be mad when I call them out on this nonsense.
But if we look at the amount of money that's been paid to these 3 lawyers over the last 2 years, one of them's made $73,000, one of them's made $90,000, and Mr. Wade has been paid $650,000+. That's an enormous discrepancy. And Anderson, if some of that money is making its way back to the DA, whether through trips or hotel or other entertainment or arrangements, then you have a problem with a conflict of interest.
But there is something special about me. It's my willingness to love people.
But Fani Willis might not have followed one of the 101 rules of not making public statements when certain accusations have been made, and she made 30 minutes of public statements, which I predicted will come back to bite her in the fanny, pun intended. This week, Nathan Wade's soon-to-be ex-wife, Jocelyn Wade, served a subpoena to compel Fani Willis to testify. I think it's on the 23rd of January, anticipating it, to testify in the context of their divorce proceedings. Fani Willis made a motion to quash the subpoena, saying, you can't compel me to testify testify. I'm a VIP, a very important politician, barred under statute. I've got nothing to add in this. And she made certain allegations in her motion to quash, which I also predict will come back to bite her in the fanny. At page 3, argument. A protective order should issue and the subpoena for deposition in District Attorney Fani T. Willis should be quashed pursuant to OCGA 9-11-26.1 as the deposition is not reasonably calculated to lead to the discovery of relevant or admissible evidence. Section 26.1 of Chapter 11 of the Georgia Civil Practices Act, which is titled, quote, protective orders for certain high-ranking members of a governmental body or public or private entity, provides that, quote, good cause for a protective order to prohibit the deposition of an officer may be shown by proof that such person is an officer and lacks unique personal knowledge of any matter that is relevant to the subject matter involved in the pending action, end quote. Fani goes on to argue that there can be no reasonable argument that she is in fact a VIP, a very important politician, and she argues that she lacks personal knowledge in the context of the divorce proceedings between Nathan Wade, her alleged boyfriend, and Jocelyn Wade, her alleged boyfriend's soon-to-be ex-wife. And then she goes on to make certain allegations in the motion to quash the subpoena that strongly suggest she indeed has personal knowledge that might be relevant to the context of that divorce. At page 6, defendant Joyce Wade's failure to identify a relevant purpose for the sought-after deposition suggests that it is indeed to harass. On information and belief, as early as 2017, prior to plaintiff Nathan J. Wade ever meeting non-party deponent Willis, the parties to the above-style divorce agreed that their marriage was irretrievably broken after the defendant Jocelyn Wade confessed to an adulterous relationship with the plaintiff's longtime friend. The defendant Jocelyn Wade's adultery precluded any chance of reconciliation. To protect the interest of both parties, plaintiff and defendant agreed to seal the records in their divorce case. However, the parties delayed filing for the benefit of their children, specifically to allow the children to reach the age of majority. Well, Ms. Willis, it certainly seems that you have a certain amount of very intimate knowledge of the family relationship between Jocelyn Wade and your new boyfriend, Nathan Wade. But I love how Fani Willis has the audacity, the big Fani audacity, to accuse Jocelyn Wade of harassment and to even suggest that it might be criminal interference of sorts in the prosecution of Donald Trump. Imagine having the Attorney General of the District Attorney, whatever her title is, Fani Willis, accusing a private citizen of some form of criminal harassment. That itself could be seen as a form of unlawful intimidation. I don't know that it is. I'm just suggesting, saying that maybe to a reasonable citizen, that's exactly how it could be interpreted. In response to Fani Willis's motion to quash, Jocelyn Wade responds by saying basically, yeah, it certainly sounds like you have a lot more information than you pretend not to have, as per the allegations of your own motion, but there might be some other relevant information that you might have as relates to the date of the contract when you entered into it with Nathan Wade, which apparently was the day before Nathan Wade filed for divorce proceedings. So he enters into a very lucrative contract, which is going to pay handsomely over the next 2 years. And there are allegations that Nathan Wade hid that revenue from his soon-to-be ex-wife. He enters into that contract the day before he files for divorce against Jocelyn Wade. Yeah, something tells me Big Fani Willis might have a lot of relevant information to the context of that divorce. And in her response, Jocelyn Wade says as follows: argument. Defendant seeks to depose Ms. Willis in order to determine details surrounding her romantic affair with plaintiff, as there appears to be no reasonable explanation for their travels apart from a romantic relationship. Ms. Willis contends in error that given the parties both citing in their divorce pleadings the no-fault provision of, quote, irretrievably broken with no reasonable hope of reconciliation, end quote, that defendant's inquiry into plaintiff's infidelity is impermissible. However, Ms. Willis is mistaken. In Georgia divorce proceedings, a party can amend a pleading up to the entry of their pretrial order, and as no pretrial order has been entered in this case, such amendments are permissible. Jocelyn responds that Big Fani Willis is wrong in law and in fact, and that she does in fact have some very relevant information to the divorce, and she brings some receipts showing how Nathan Wade was booking airline tickets in Fani's name, that they were taking cruises, that they were staying in Holiday Expresses. Can you imagine being the spouse of someone and seeing all of this after the fact? All the while, apparently, allegedly, Nathan Wade was bilking Jocelyn's bank account while making upwards of $1 million over the course of the next couple of years without disclosing that to his soon-to-be ex-wife. My goodness, Fani Willis actually has the audacity to get up in front of a church and argue racism and then make certain statements which seem to be very false. Fani, you don't have to tell the truth, but just don't lie. How hard is that? Anyhow, that is the latest. We will talk about it in greater detail tonight. We'll see where this goes. There is a lot to unpack here, and there's a lot that's still going to develop in the coming days. There are people suggesting that Fani Willis might have actually misappropriated not just Georgia taxpayer dollars to improperly finance her boyfriend, who then turned around and lavished vacations and cruises on her. It seems that she might not just have done that in violation of Georgia law and Georgia ethics, but that she might have misappropriated federal COVID tax dollars to pay her boyfriend. Woo! This is getting juicy as a big Fani. Holy crab apples. We're going to see where this goes, but more importantly, if you like what I do, you know what to do. to do. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment in the comment section below. Viva Frei on Rumble. Viva Frei on Twitter. VivaBarnesLaw.locals.com on Locals with my partner-in-law, pun intended, Robert Barnes. We are live every Sunday at 6 o'clock. So tune in to that on Rumble. And what else? Get out there, sunlight, exercise, eat healthy, talk to people in real life, and now you know your vlog. Peace out, peeps. Booyah!
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.